Taking my time, drinking wine, feeling fine, waiting here to find the sun.
Welcome back to my channel. You already know what it is, and if you don't, I am your girl Just Jules here on YouTube. I am a lifestyle, story time, and girl chat creator here on this app. So y'all already know what time it is. If you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a second. Okay, did you subscribe? Okay, good. So with that being said, y'all already know what time it is. It's time to cheers to you joining the Juju Bean Squad. Anyways, with that being said, I'm giving y'all another story time, so let's get straight into it. Around the time I was dating Pathetic, and we are planning vacation for my birthday. So he wants to go to Cancun, I want to go to Cancun. Boom. Keep it short and sweet. I'm planning. My birthday is coming up. I'm ordering all these cute clothes off the internet. It's cute. Like, everything is aligning perfectly the way you would want it to align before a trip. I'm excited. I don't really have an itinerary to plan just because this is a tropical trip. So on tropical trips, typically what you're going to do as a couple or a friend group is you're going to relax. You're going to be by the beach. You're going to be by the pool. And we just so happen to be staying on an all-inclusive resort, which I love, y'all. There's nothing more that I love than an all-inclusive resort. Anyways, as we're getting closer to the trip, I am like collecting my documents, and I'm trying to collect his documents, make sure we both have everything that we need. Now, we run into a problem because he had ordered his passport or a new passport, and it hadn't come yet. And we are maybe less than two or 3 days away from the trip. Now, for me, I know that I can get my passport expedited. The first time I got my passport, it was expedited. I got it in less than 2 weeks, less than 1 week. I got my passport in about 3 days. So in case y'all didn't know, y'all can go get y'all passports expedited in certain cities, typically the major ones, if you already have tickets purchased to go on the trip or you have an invitation to go somewhere. So in case y'all didn't know that, that's a little fun fact. You don't have to wait months in advance, but I would not suggest getting your passport expedited because what could happen to us could happen to y'all. So I'm about to explain it. With that being said, we are waiting for his passport to come. It has not been expedited. So what do? I take action. I start emailing the governor of our state at the time. I start emailing the governor of our state, and I'm like, hey, I need this passport. I need it expedited. I need it expedited ASAP. Please, could you get back to me? So at this point, the governor's secretary and I were going back and forth on his behalf about his passport. And she's like, listen, it's at the top of our list. A lot of people are, backed up. This is something that is very urgent to us, but please just give us some time. We can promise you that when it's time for you to leave in about 48 hours, you will have your passport the morning before your trip. Now, our flight was about, it was about 6 a.m. It was around 6 a.m. So I'm like, there's no way the mail is going to deliver this passport before 6 a.m. So the night before the trip, we still don't have the passport. Now, I said, this is what we're going to do. If we don't get your passport in the mail, you are going to go to your uncle and aunt's house and you're going to take your uncle's passport because y'all don't look alike. But if you don't know each other and you close your eye and you tilt your head to the left, y'all could pass for each other.
Stop it. Get some help.
We're just frantically racing back and forth, pacing back and forth, hoping that we don't even have to do that. But maybe 4 a.m. comes and it's about time to start thinking about that. Like, it's time to do that because at this point, the passport's not coming. And I could go on the trip alone, but that's not fun. Like, who wants to go on a trip alone? Like, it's solo traveling is not my thing. I know some people are good at it just because they are very self-sufficient and self-entertained. I am not. I need some entertainment. I need somebody to entertain me. I need something going on. I need somebody to talk to and bounce my ideas off of. So I just didn't want to go by myself. And what ends up happening is he goes to his uncles and aunts, goes into their room. Like, mind you, like, we're sneaking around because they're not home. And we are like trying to find his uncle's passport. Like we are like tearing their room up, like y'all. And I'm pretty sure that this is a federal crime. So for all legal purposes, this is all alleged and this is just for entertainment. This story is truly falsely made up. None of the actions are true in this story. Everybody's a fictional character, including myself. This is just all hypothetical. But with that being said, we're tearing the room up. And it's like, I don't know where other people keep their passports, but I keep mine in like a top drawer somewhere in a little baggie in the corner. But like his uncle's was like under like so many clothes and like a nightstand desk. It was so hard to find, y'all. But we found it. Nonetheless, we found the passport. So we're like, okay, we're good to go. We're good to go. This is going off smoothly. Now it's time for us to drive to the airport. So we drive to the airport. Everything is still running smooth. We got some courage built up. Like our adrenaline is pumping out of our chest. Like, but not too much for me because I am who I say I am. So, you know, not too much adrenaline for me, but for him. So with that being said, we go to the airport and we're at the first security gate. And the security officer is like, oh, you look a lot different. And he's like, yeah, I grew out my hair. And that picture, my hair was short and I grew out my hair. So I was like, okay, hopefully we don't get arrested. Hopefully nothing terrible happens, but they let us through. Boom. So what ends up happening is we make it all the way to Mexico. Now, when we get to Mexico, we get to Cancun, we have a ball, y'all. Like, oh, we had such a good time.
Boy, we had a time last night. Boy, we had a time last night.
We had so much fun. Everything was super entertaining. Like, we were drinking. We were on the beach. We were relaxed. Like, Cancun beaches, Cancun beaches, tanning, and sun. I love it. There's nothing more that I love than the sun. Y'all already know this. So, we are on vacation. Everything is going good. We're vibing. We're chilling. You know, we're doing our own thing, whatever. So, it's time for us to go home. We start going to the airport. And we wake up for breakfast at 9 a.m. Now, we have a flight around 12 p.m. We're in Mexico, so we just wake up. We go get breakfast at the resort. Like, we're just feeling it. We're, like, soaking all the sun up. We having a good time. We're just like, whoo, this is the last day. Let's get, you know, the rest of our free drinks. Let's get our food. Like, we are really just riding this thing out, having a good time. Now, pay attention. It was 9 a.m. We woke up for breakfast. The flight is at 12. In America, you should be 2 hours early for an international flight. So we're like, as long as we get there by 10 a.m., we're good. We get to the airport, y'all, in Mexico. No, we're not good at all. So we get to the airport. There's a long line of Americans. There's a long line of people who are just obviously not Hispanic flying out from the airport. And we're like, hey, we're here for our flight, blah, blah, blah. And this is why I'm never flying Spirit, y'all. And this is why I'm never cutting corners and never... One thing about me, I'm going to try to cut a corner. Okay. One thing about me, I love a good bargain and I love a good deal even when I don't need it. I had one task. My one task was to find an airline for us. He was gonna buy the tickets. I just had to find the date and the time or whatever to go on a trip. You get what I'm saying? So all I had to do was suggest an airline and find the perfect time or day for us to fly out. That's all I had to do. Me being me, loving a good deal, loving a good bargain, decides to fly Spirit for the first time in my life internationally, y'all. Internationally. I didn't try this on a little bullshit flight to who knows where, from Ohio to Georgia or whatever. I tried Spirit for the first time internationally.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
How do y'all think that turned out for me? Okay, anyways, so we're in the airport and We flying Spirit. Yep, I'm gonna say it. I'm put it out there. We're flying Spirit because I wanted to be a cheap broad and get the best deal possible. Y'all, please do not laugh at me. And I was just like, I don't know why people don't fly Spirit. Like, because the thing about it is, I think I seen a TikTok and it was like, name something that's classy when you're rich, but trashy when you're poor. So I'm one of those people, like, I really try to push the boundaries and call something chic and like interesting and earthy and try to experience something. Now, did we have to fly Spirit? No. But I said, it would just be cool to save a couple dollars and just experience something together for the first time like this. We've never flown Spirit. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
So chic. Oh my God.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Y'all know I already get a little artsy. Y'all know I'm a little artsy. Y'all know I get artsy. So shout out to Jasmine for telling me about my intro song. But girl, boy, whoever, y'all already know I'm artsy. Y'all know I'm not all the way there. So with that being said, I just thought it would be so chic. I thought it would be so chic for us to fly Spirit.
Really very chic.
We're there. There is a huge crowd of people, all flying Spirit, all flying JetBlue, who flying whatever. And Spirit tells us, yeah, we're not going to let you through the gate because your flight is supposed to be at 12 and it's 11 and you won't make it through TSA. Now, y'all know me. I always think I could get around something and I'm like, please, I feel like we can make it through. We could walk fast, we can run. And they're like, no, simply no. And I'm like, okay, well, when is the next flight? Do y'all know what they said to us? There are no more flights, not just to your state. There are no more flights to the United States, period, today.
Oh, hell no.
Y'all, oh my God, it was something out of a movie. Like, when I heard that, life just started going so bad, right? Like, everything just started going so bad for me. Because not only are we staying another day, but we're not at our resort. Like, we're not staying another day at our resort because our resort had to be booked in advance. This is a 5-star resort. This is a cushy, relaxed resort far away from the airport. So we're like panicking because we don't know what to do. Like, we want to stay back at our cushy resort and now it's booked up. So we end up having to find a taxi, have like somebody escort us out the airport to find a taxi, and then find like a local hotel by the airport so we don't miss our flight again, because there are no more flights going to America until tomorrow, right? Mind you, the flights are going to America tomorrow, not to our state. We're just to even get to America tomorrow, we just have to catch a flight to a random state. So we get a hotel. That costs extra money for another day because it's not in our resort package, like our lovely 5-star palm tree by the beach resort package. This is a hotel downtown that's expensive as hell for convenience because there are a lot of people obviously who are missing flights these days. And we just start like spiraling because one thing about me, I'm extremely type A when it comes to vacations. Like, in regular everyday life, I'm more flexible, but when it comes to a vacation, I have zero flexibility. Everything is planned, everything is proper, everything is worked out to the smallest detail. Like, if I'm taking a piss, it's written in the itinerary. And I was just thinking, okay, the itinerary wasn't that strict for this trip because we're relaxing, but at the bare minimum, we should be making the flight. At the bare minimum. Like, what? So we get to the hotel. And we're not tripping because it's an inconvenience, and I'm just reminded that life is too short for me to stress about the small things. One thing about pathetic, y'all, that Negro was pathetic, but one thing about him, he knew how to deal with my personality. Like, if I'm up here, he's up here. He's just neutral. He's not responding to me emotionally. He's not getting riled up. He's not stressed out. He is calm. And he's like, listen, it's just a minor inconvenience. We'll be okay. You're safe. You're fine. It's not that deep. So I'm like, you know what? You're right. Back to me being artsy. I'm like, this is the opportunity to be indulged in true Mexican culture. This is the opportunity for me to have authentic burrito tacos at the nearest spot, at the nearest Mexican restaurant on the street, right? So we start walking around like the downtown airport-ish area, and we see like a restaurant. and they have authentic burrito tacos. And at this point, I haven't tried burrito tacos yet because they look amazing, but I just haven't got to them. So I was like, perfect. The first time I'm having a burrito taco is going to be in Mexico. Y'all, so the lady is making our tacos. We pay for the food. She gives us 2 clear little cups to drink some water from, and she points to the water bin. And I'm like, okay, perfect. So I start filling my cup up with water. It's summertime. I'm kind of hot, kind of sweaty. Not really, but just a little bit. So I start drinking the water. And the lady stops what she's doing and she runs over to me. She's like, no, no, no. Y'all, I don't know why. I just didn't put it together that she wanted me to dip my fingers in the water and like kind of wash my hands with the water, because everybody knows don't drink the water in Mexico. Like everybody knows that. I didn't know that, but everybody else knows that. And I feel like I've read that online and I just totally forgot that. So y'all, I started getting dizzy. Like this trip was going from like a perfect paradise to hell very fast, because I started getting dizzy at this point and I'm like getting nauseous and like I'm starting to feel faint because I drank the water I was not supposed to drink. Okay. That happens. We go back to the hotel. Boom. Everything is in Spanish at this point. I'm trying to watch TV. Everything is in Spanish because at the end of the day, this is not the resort anymore. This is catered to the locals. Like we are in Mexico for real now. Like we're no longer on a resort in our little tourist fantasy island land. Like we're authentically in Mexico. So authentically, everything is going to be in Spanish. All the TVs were in Spanish, all the shows were in Spanish, all the movies were in Spanish, the commercials were in Spanish, so we couldn't even watch TV. I was sad about that, but we had to wake up for the airport the next day. So boom, wake up for the airport. We make it to our flight, thankfully. We land in Baltimore because we could not get a real flight back to our state, and I wasn't tripping. I was being artsy and optimistic. And we were like, listen, we'll just catch a flight to Baltimore and we'll just rent a car and we'll just drive home, because everybody knows if you rent a car from the airport or budget, you can rent it in whatever city you're in and then just drive it back to your home city at that airport and you'll be cool, because that's how you'll return the car. So we are landing in Baltimore. Now, the first thing that happens in Baltimore is we get off the plane, we're going through customs, and the couple in front of us is sticking out their passports, and the passport lady was like, you know, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to step to the side. Just step over here for me, please. So we're like, oh, snap. Mind you, this man was just smoking in Mexico. He made it all the way to Mexico. We're making it back into America. So in Baltimore, we see that couple get flagged, and I'm like, okay. Whew, hopefully she won't do that to us. Guess what happened, y'all? She did it to us. So she looks at his passport, she looks at his face, she looks back at his passport, and she says, sir, you know what? I need y'all to step over here. And when I tell you, like, I have never had such worse anxiety. The walls were closing in on me. I'm like, so with that being said, I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, how do I think fast? What I did, and I don't know why, because this was so dumb, it just made me look super suspicious. I was like, let me take all the attention off of him, because he's not who he is on the passport. Let me take all that attention off of him, and like, let me make myself look the most suspicious I can look, because one thing about me, I'm actually myself. So if anybody is going to look suspicious, it should be me, because at the end of the day, I can verify my identity. If he's the one looking the most suspicious and he can't verify his identity, y'all, it's curtains. It's over. It's all bad. Like, I don't know what we gonna do. But if I look suspicious, like, or more suspicious than he does, and they focus all their attention on me, when push comes to shove, they can just print me, like, whatever. They can verify my identity several different ways. But with him, that ain't gonna happen. So I'm like, oh shit, let me just start doing things, like, let me start fidgeting, like, let me look weird. I don't know. So with that being said, they pull us to the side. And I'm like, this is something that only happens off of movies. Only this will happen to me. Oh my gosh. They pull us to the side and they asked us for our socials. Now, any adult with common sense knows what their social security number is by heart. Most adults know what their social number is. Period. Like that's just most adults. Now there's an exception of people who might just carry their card around with them, but I can't remember the last time I had a social security card. So I know my social security card number off of the top of my head. And I feel like most people do. So the security officer walks up, it's a new one, and he's like, "Hey guys, if you don't mind showing me your passports and then saying your social security numbers associated with passports." And I just say, "I don't know mine." Because I'm this is like, I should be the suspicious one because I'm actually myself. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know mine either."
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And the officer's just like, okay. And it was awkward, but he was like, "Okay, that's fine. Come over here to this space with me." So we follow him to like a little room. It's not enclosed like a door, like an interrogation room. It's just like a sitting area off to the side. And he is like, "Okay, how many brothers and sisters do you guys have?" And I said, "I'm an only child." And he said, "I have one brother." The security guard proceeds to walk away. And he looked at me and was like, "I don't know why I just said that. My uncle does not only have one brother. Matter of fact, he's a twin and he has several brothers. I don't know why, like, that just came out of my mouth." And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to jail. It's over for me. Actually, I'm not going to jail. You're going to jail. But I'm going to feel really bad if you go to jail. It's going to make me sad. Like, please don't go to jail. Like, so I'm like, oh snap. Like, how can I just take all the attention away from him so he don't get booked? Because the thing is, you can't book me because I'm myself. But if he get booked, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because this person, pathetic, he's keeping me in check. Like, he's keeping my emotions under control because he's so calm. If he goes away, then I'm not going to be calm no more. And I'm going to just be all over the place. And we're never going to make it out of Baltimore. So with that being said, the dude comes back over and he's like, "Okay, I have one more question for y'all. What city did y'all get y'all passports in?" And I named the city I got my passport in. He named the city that his uncle got his passport in. And both of those answers were correct because that was a trick question. He lived in a major city and I got my passport in the major city. But technically, he lives in a town within the major city, with that being said. So you would only have to know that town's name to get the right answer. So when he was like, "Okay, great, that's the right answer, you guys can go," we looked at each other. We started walking slowly until we made it to the airport doors, like to outside. As soon as we hit outside, we started running. Like, we take off.
Praying for my life.
Like, we are running. Like, we are just running with our suitcases. We're like, no, we made it. Let's go. Let's get as far away from here as possible. Why are we even in Baltimore? Like, this is too much. Like, we book it, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Like, I've never ran so fast with a suitcase in my life. Same to him. Like, we're just running. So we catch a train to go get a rental car. We catch a train to like the rental car place since the airport is so big. And we're trying to get a rental car, and just my luck, there is a rental car shortage in America at this time. Y'all, I'm pissed. Like, we're trying to get a rental car for hours, and I'm like, this is too much. Like, this is really too much for me. Because how is there a car shortage? What you mean I can't rent the car and just bring it to the next location in my city? What do you mean I have to return it back here? Like, what? So everybody's telling us there's a car shortage. Everybody's saying if you want to rent the car, you have to bring the car back to its original location, which is Baltimore. So it just seems like the walls are closing in on us. We don't know what to do. And from this point on, I was like, you know what? We just gonna get a U-Haul. Like, F it. We don't need to rent a car. We can just go get a U-Haul truck and rent it from here in Baltimore and drive it back home. So I'm like, okay, bet. He like, cool. And he starts calling an Uber. Call the Uber. We pull up to like the U-Haul location. Mind you, it's like 5:30. It's got to be like 4:30. Let's say U-Haul is closing at 5, right? So we trying to beat the time. We call the Uber, and I'm like, perfect. A U-Haul is right around the corner. All the other U-Haul stations are like 40 minutes away, 50 minutes away. By the time we get there, they're going to be closed and we're not going to have a car because we can't rent no car from the airport. So we are on our way to this U-Haul location and we get there, y'all. Why is it not a U-Haul location? Why is this a gas station? Not even a gas station with like food and snacks on the inside where you can walk into. It is a gas station on the outside to where like you have to stand outside and they serve you from inside, but like no customers or consumers can walk in, but they have 3 U-Hauls parked in the parking lot. What? This cannot be my life. Y'all, when I tell y'all I was so drained, I was like, wait, so we can't even like stand inside the gas station and fill out the paperwork to rent the U-Haul? Like, that's not a possibility. It's an outside gas station. Like, who even has an outside gas station? Only the ghetto streets of Baltimore. That's who. Effing Baltimore. That's who. So the Uber drops us off and they're like, oh my God, y'all giving crackhead at this point because why is y'all coming to the outside gas station with y'all nice vacation clothes on? Mind y'all, we're stuck in Baltimore clothes on. Like, we don't have on a sweatshirt and a hoodie. We have on nice vacation clothes. I have on some nice pants, a nice little crop top. Like, and we're in the middle of the hood somewhere at an outdoor gas station.
Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Ooh.
Y'all, we're not giving vacation anymore. I just wanted to click my heels so bad and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. So, boom. We get there and we're looking like crackheads and people are just looking at us crazy because we have on these nice clothes and we have this nice luggage, but we're in the middle of Baltimore at an outside gas station. So boom, his phone is already dead because he just called the Uber or whatever, and we've been on the flights all day and we haven't been charging our phone. So his phone is already dead. Mine is on 4%. And we're outside, so I can't even plug up my phone within the gas station. And I have to fill out paperwork on my phone to rent the U-Haul. Y'all, why does my phone die? Why does my freaking phone die? And I'm like, oh snap, they're about to close. Like, at this point, the tears start coming. The emotional breakdown starts happening. And Pathetic is just, y'all, like, he's just trying to encourage me through this whole thing. He's like, listen, we're good. We haven't argued. That shows how great our relationship is. Like, we're not arguing with each other. This is a very high stress situation, and we're handling it as well as we can. We don't have time to turn against each other. We don't have time to fold. We don't have time to bicker. What we're going to do is we're going to take your phone and we're going to ask the gas station person to plug it up. That's what we're going to do. So we asked the gas station person to plug up my phone, and he's like, I can't do that for you. So I'm like, bro, this is too much. Luckily, he ends up walking around the building. Pathetic ends up walking around the building, and he sees like an outlet on the side of the building. So we like take our luggage, which is still just outside with us. We take our luggage to the side of the building and we start charging my phone so we can fill out this U-Haul paperwork so we can rent a U-Haul in Baltimore and hopefully be able to drive it back. We haven't even talked about if we could drive it back to our state yet. So with that being said, my phone finally cuts on and we fill out the paperwork for the U-Haul and we ask, can we return it back in our home state? And the guy says, no, you cannot take the U-Haul with you. So our U-Haul has our suitcase in it. It has everything that we own in it now, from vacation. And we don't know where we're going to sleep or if all the hotels are booked up. We don't know how we're going to get back home because we haven't even started looking for flights to see if any were available or if, or if that was even a possibility, just depending on which airport we were flying out of. Because honestly, y'all, we was traumatized. Like, we was so traumatized from missing our flights in Mexico. We was like, what if there's no flights today going to our home state? So we didn't know if that was possible or not. But anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that because I am at 30 minutes, y'all. So with that being said, log back in, or wait, hold on. Let me do that again. Anyways, y'all, with that being said, we're gonna leave it right there. I'm at 33 minutes, y'all. This is a long story. I know y'all love long story times. I love them too. But with that being said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it off right there, guys. And we're gonna make a part 2 of how I got stranded in Mexico, then Baltimore, and how I should smuggle my boyfriend to actually, we're not even gonna put that in the title. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below so y'all can get part 2 of this story. With that being said, cheers to the Juju Beans and the Juju Beans only. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.
Every day I spend my time drinking.